Hi there, Marina. Nice to see that you have submitted a new set of essays. I know you've been busy, so great getting these to us and working towards your IELTS. Let's see what you wrote here. This is about traditional foods being replaced by fast food. Let's see what you wrote. Okay, interesting. Okay, fine. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether the disappearance of traditional foods from our tables and fast food rapid rise in popularity have a greater impact on households, individuals, and even social culture. This essay will discuss both sides using examples from the UK government and Oxford University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, so there are a couple of things that I want to talk to you about here. First of all, this was a little awkward grammatically. Up to here, you were fine. You said whether the disappearance of traditional foods from our tables and the rapid rise in popularity of fast food. Okay, that would have been a better way to say this. But that's a grammatical thing. But what I want to talk to you about is the kind of essay this is. This is an essay where it asks for your opinion. And so in order to give your opinion, you can do a couple of things here. You can either completely agree with this statement. Yes, it has a negative effect. You can completely disagree. You can say, no, it doesn't have a negative impact. Or you can be somewhere, a combination of both. All of those are okay. However, if you decide to be somewhere in the middle, then you have to explain that in your introduction. You have to explain, so something like, while I agree that X, I also believe that, Y, whatever, something. Okay? Now, why am I bringing this up to you? For two reasons. Number one, you didn't give a position. Okay? The only thing you told us is that you're going to discuss both sides, and that's not enough. When they ask you directly for your opinion on something, it is in your best interest to give it in your introduction. Because if you look at band 7, task achievement, it says presents a clear position throughout the essay. Throughout means from the beginning to the end. So beginning is your introduction. So make your position clear in your introduction. All right, so that's the one thing. You didn't make your position clear. Instead, what you did is you said you're going to discuss both sides, but it's not clear to your reader why. Why are you going to discuss both sides? Okay. Do you agree with both sides? Is there some value? Is there some validity to both sides? So this is a little strange in an essay like this when it says, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Because first of all, we don't know your opinion. If you had said to us while I believe X, I also agree with Y, then yeah, it would have made sense for you to tell us you're going to discuss both sides. But you didn't, and so we definitely have some question marks here. All right, so what I want to do is I just want to go on. I want to actually see what you developed in your body paragraphs, and that way we can then decide how you should have written your introduction to reflect how you actually developed your paragraphs, okay? So, there is ample evidence that fast food has found its way to almost every family all around the world and certainly became a replacement of home-cooked meals with an S here. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, nowadays, many parents both have jobs and consequently no time for preparing dinner, so takeaway or food delivery is the only solution to save time. Secondly, the availability of fast food eateries, their variety, and considerably affordable prices are undeniable. For example, recent empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that in the last decade, more and more people opt for having dinner in fast food restaurants than 20 years ago. It must not be forgotten that although fast food is not actually a healthy choice, it is an alternative to traditional meals due to its popularity and easy access, get rid of the and easy access at any time. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that although such restaurants like McDonald's or Pizza Hut have grown in popularity all over the world, they undoubtedly have a negative impact not only on individuals but also on society in general. Get rid of A. All right, now, I have an issue with the way you develop this. I want to say that first. I also want to say that it's well written. Okay. So despite whatever issue I have, I thought you did a nice job. It flowed really nicely. I mean, you could see that I didn't really have difficulty reading. I didn't have to correct a lot. Anything I had to correct was minimal. And certainly not super, super serious or anything that impeded um, coherence or anything like that. So it's a nicely written paragraph, but I do have a couple of issues, as I said. Remember that this sentence here, this last sentence that starts with therefore, it's supposed to kind of reflect back on the first sentence in your paragraph. So they're supposed to be like mirror images of each other. And that wasn't the case here. So um, I thought there was a problem with the linking of your ideas. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So here you tell us basically I thought the whole paragraph until I got here. Wait, no. Until I got to here, it sounded to me like you were basically explaining to us why fast food is popular. Okay, the whole thing is really talking about why it's become such a trend. Okay, and then here, even here you said it is an alternative to traditional meals due to its popularity and easy access. So this whole thing is telling us why this is happening, why fast food has become so popular. And then all of a sudden in your last sentence, you tell us that they have a negative impact. How are we supposed to know this? How are we supposed to understand this based on the way that you developed this paragraph? So that's why I'm saying that there's not really a very strong link between, excuse me, the ideas in your paragraph. The whole thing was talking about why fast food has become popular. And then all of a sudden in your last sentence, you're telling us that this has a negative impact. And so that's not an appropriate way to develop this. All right. What you need to do instead is you need to have a central idea that you develop throughout the entire paragraph, okay? And that central idea kind of leads and informs all of your sentences. So I thought this was fine as an idea that they have a negative impact on individuals and also in society, but then your whole paragraph has to be structured in a way that it explains why or explains how this is the case, okay? Anyway, let's see what you wrote in the next one. Although there is a case for fast food eateries presenting a large variety of meal choices with an S to individuals, the importance of keeping authentic traditions of cooking and eating in families cannot be overstated. This is largely because home cooked food has much higher nutrition value compared to fast food, which is even more significant than ever before due to the recent rise in obesity and other health issues caused by unhealthy diet. For example, an extensive study by Oxford University showed that over 60% of teenagers have an excessive weight resulting, ing, from eating fast food every day. Consistent with this line of thinking is that a considerable amount of traditional food recipes when you have something like amount, you follow this word, have been lost over the last few decades because people have stopped cooking at home. Thus, it's possible to state beyond doubt that traditional foods and family culture to prepare meal, I don't understand that, traditional foods and, okay, I see what you're trying to say, but it's still awkward. It is possible to state that traditional foods and as a result, culture have been endangered. You don't even have to say this. Have been endangered by the tremendous growth and popularity of fast food. All right, we'll talk about it in a minute. From the arguments, plural here, S, and examples given, I firmly believe that although the fast food restaurants and deliveries provide an invaluable contribution to our lives, the role of traditional foods is considerably greater for individuals, families, and even society in terms of its value for people's, apostrophe S, health, family traditions, and social culture. It is predicted that the role of authentic meals and recipes passing through generations will increasingly grow in importance. Okay, so let's think about this for a minute and we'll talk about it. The good news is that, like I said before, for the most part, your grammar is good. There are places where I had to correct it. Missing S's, some missing words, some missing articles. There were things like that throughout this essay. They were consistent enough that it probably would lower your score. Because like I said, there was no issue really of incoherence. Maybe there was like one, but such frequent errors are going to lower your grammatical range and accuracy score. Okay, that's a given. So just keep that in mind and try to be a little more accurate, even with some of these minor things. So now the next thing I want to talk to you about is the task achievement portion of this, which was somewhat problematic for me. So not only was this a problem, okay, in that your position wasn't really clear from the beginning, but then there were problems with the way the topic was developed throughout the essay. Let's see. And then here you're basically telling us essentially that, yeah, these are good, but the role of traditional food is better. Okay, so we now know your position, all right? And it's what I had said in the beginning that, you know, if you want to talk about the fact that it is good, okay, then you can do that, but you just have to make it clear in your introduction. So what I would have suggested is something like this. This essay will discuss why the trend of fast food is beneficial to individuals and to families, but also how families and society as a whole can also suffer. Okay, so that's how you could have done this, and then it would have made sense. Okay, so that's how I would recommend writing your thesis statement and introduction. Then this has to be, this has to have a better central idea. Since you have told us that individuals benefit from fast food and families too can benefit from fast food, that's what you want to develop here. So you could say there is ample evidence that fast food has provided a great service to both individuals and families around the world. Okay? And then a lot of this then makes sense that families have jobs, they have no time to cook. So this is a great solution. You know, maybe if you're a single person, you know, a fast food meal is a wonderful alternative to having to cook something rather complicated on your own. So you could have talked about how, you know what, it's not that negative. It's actually helped a lot of people. And maybe you could even say that there were some kind of diet conscious choices out there in terms of fast food. And so it's not all bad. So that's what you could have done here. It's essentially about reframing this so that you're saying that, you know, there are some groups in our society for which these fast food meals are positive and not just negative. Okay? So that's what you would do here. And then here you, there was a case for, then this makes sense. Okay? This is absolutely fine then. The importance of keeping authentic traditions and eating in families cannot be overstated. Okay, so then that's fine. And then this all makes sense, okay? So those are some of the changes that I would make. I hope that it's clear. I hope that you understand what kinds of things you have to do to this essay to make it score better in terms of task achievement and coherence and cohesion, okay? Why don't we take a look now, Marina, at your letter to your friend, why you couldn't meet your friend. All right. Remember that the instructions in the letter will probably tell you start your letter dear ... So keep that in mind. In that instance, it wouldn't be appropriate to say dearest friend Mark. Just say dear Mark and you'll be all set. All right. I've just I've just come back home from my trip to Boston, and I'm so sorry I couldn't visit you, even though I really tried my best to get out of my numerous business meetings to come meet with you. Capital I. Anyway, I'm feeling a bit down and want to express from the depths of my heart how sorry I am to have not met, M-E-T, with you. I should have told you that I wouldn't probably make it because our friendship deserves that notification. Okay? Without question, my actions require an explanation. You see, my trip to Boston was a business trip, but I was pretty sure that I'd have plenty of free time, though. All right, you don't need a but and a though. Just pick one. I was so wrong because one meeting came after another, and all of them required my presence, so I couldn't escape. Moreover, after each meeting, my boss demanded me to prepare and send detailed minutes. When the last meeting was over, I couldn't believe that it was almost time, get rid of the A, to go to the airport to catch my flight. However, as a reward for my exceptional performance, my boss is sending me, makes more sense here, is sending me again to Boston next month for follow-ups, and this time I'll combine my business with a week of annual leave. I want to make it up to you, not for, to you, and promise that during that week I'm all yours. I also have some surprise plans for our time together, which I'm sure you'll be thrilled about. Speak to you soon. All right, here you need a sign off. You need a love, you need a kisses, you need your friend, something. Okay? But on the whole, I thought this was absolutely lovely. It's definitely very developed. It is really, really good. I have no issues with this whatsoever. You were super, super clear. I did think that some of this was maybe a little formal, some of it. It's going to be difficult to kind of show you where I mean. One thing for sure is moreover, definitely feels formal. I also felt this was a little formal for your friend. I mean, I don't, friends don't typically talk like that. Without question, my actions require an explanation. It's just a little stiff. It's a little formal. Just, here, this was a lot better. Our friendship deserves that notification. That was appropriate. Here would have just made sense if you'd said, please just let me explain to you what happened. That would have been fine. But like I said, the rest of it was really good. This was nice and informal. I'm trying to find some instances where I thought it was a little formal. Yeah, here they required my presence. I mean, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to use some advanced vocabulary. I understand this, but sometimes some of this vocabulary just makes it feel a little too formal. So let's see. I was so wrong because one meeting came after another, and I needed to be present for all of them. That's all. Okay. The required my presence felt a little stiff, a little formal, but this was very good. Okay, Marina. So this is a long correction. I apologize for the length, but I hope you have a lot of information to help you, get started on your next set. Understand what you need to do to kind of pull together the pieces of task achievement and coherence and cohesion. This was very good, so not many concerns. Don't forget, though, to include a sign off. The speak to you soon was fine, but then, have right above your name a love, your friend, a kisses, something. All right, so good work, and let's see more work from you. So I'll be waiting. Good luck.